Hi guys, today's video is going to be talking about why you shouldn't be changing your routine constantly, why you shouldn't be changing your affirmations very often as well. So it's going to be kind of keeping you guys on track, reminding you that you have all the power and control to have confidence in yourself and trust yourself. So explaining essentially why it's not a good idea to keep changing your routine or take on too many new methods, right? So do stay tuned. Please do thumbs up, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. And I also offer one-on-one coaching if that's something you're interested in. The information and pricing and everything is below on my Instagram, LOA Coaching. So do reach out if you're interested, and let's get started. First point is to tell you guys not to follow trends and new methods. Basically things that come up and try and tell you, if you do this, or, try out this new 5 times 55 method, and people are commenting and saying I did the 5 times 55 and got my SP to text me, and you suddenly jump on that and stop doing your regular mental diet and affirmations and you start writing out 55 affirmations. You can't sit there and assume, if I do this, then it'll be so much better than my affirmations, and if I switch to this it will get me what I want. If you already have that assumption that the 5 by 55 method, for example, works, then yes, it will work for you. And of course, writing out affirmations is not a bad method at all. It's still a form of looping and focusing your mind, but it's, you should continue looping your affirmations. That it's a foolproof way to manifest. It's how 90% of people manifest, by either mentally or verbally looping over and over an affirmation. That's how we, manifest in the Law of Assumption community. I can vouch for it. There's millions of success stories talking about affirming. So why would you suddenly jump into a completely different method, or start switching things up completely? Try not to just see a trend and come from a place of desperation and think, SP hasn't texted me in 3 weeks, which you are now reaffirming to your mind, by the way, as a fact. So if I do 5 by 55, maybe this will work. Like, I'll just do it, I'll do it for 5 days and maybe even 10 days, and then I'll get the text. You cannot come from this state of desperation of trying to get something. You need to come from the end result by affirming it to your mind. Just keep looping the affirmations, keep doing your mental diet, whatever methods you're doing. Maybe you really like scripting and that's your primary form. Whatever it is, and I know it's similar to 5 by 55, but if you like scripting out your desired outcome and your one ideal scenario with your SP, and you kind of keep looping that and writing out, how your marriage is, how amazingly he treats you, and that aligns with, the whole image you've created of your relationship. And let's say your focus is constant communication, commitment, marriage, loyalty to you completely, and you're scripting out based on that, that is totally fine. Keep going with that. If you really enjoy and connect with scripting and it creates really powerful visuals for you, keep doing that. But don't try and then immediately jump into a new trend you see, especially if something's been working for you. I'd recommend, honestly, just sticking to the basics. If you are just starting out on the manifesting journey, or just starting out with manifesting a new specific goal, and you're unsure of yourself maybe, or you just have had a lot of doubt, or you're a little bit confused about what you should be doing, just stick to the basics. Affirming, persisting in that, and persisting in a mental diet. Those are literally the basic foundations, where it's the easiest, most prominent way to control your thoughts. So also, just to advise you guys, please don't start suddenly panicking. For example, if you just, maybe movement was hot and cold, you got a text from an SP, or they saw you at a party and you had a great conversation, but then 2 weeks go by and you don't hear from them. Do not panic and spiral. There's nothing wrong with it. Like I always say, ignore the 3D. You don't want to focus on that. You want to focus on your thoughts and your inner state of being, right? That's what's going to guide you and show you, which path you're taking to achieve your goal. So just focus on that and don't start suddenly panicking and spiraling just because you haven't seen something, conform and change in your 3D the way you want. And then as a result of that, also, please don't allow that to push you into start changing everything you're doing and thinking, maybe I'm just not good at manifesting, or maybe I need to change all my affirmations. I'm doing something wrong. I'm the problem. No, you're not. This can happen. This is very normal and natural. Your 3D may not look It can look very up and down. One day they text you, then the next 2 weeks they don't talk to you. You know, it doesn't matter. It's just the 3D reality. You persist through it until it conforms. So you do not need to change your methods. You do not need to take on these, you know, new affirmations that coaches are telling you this is the miracle affirmation that will get your SP. I may even suggest, you know, some really powerful affirmations. I might do a couple of videos on affirmations actually, but that's only if you don't know what to affirm, or you really feel like you need to affirm something new because you're not connecting with your affirmations. Perhaps you're not sure how to word them. You know, don't suddenly switch up just because somebody else had success with it. And do remember that progress and a shift in your 3D takes time. It may not, it's possible for it to happen, but it may not happen overnight. It may not be an instant flip. You may not instantly see a reflection in your 3D, you know, whether it's a text message or a positive experience when you're out socializing or in the shops or on the street. You know, you get positive movement, or someone confirms something to you, like let's say you're affirming that you're super beautiful. You know, if someone doesn't come up to you on the street and say you are so incredibly beautiful, oh my gosh, it doesn't mean it's not working. It can take time. That, you know, it doesn't have to come in a certain form or in a certain time frame. Progress does take time. It can be very gradual. It doesn't always happen instantly or immediately, especially if you're still building up positive assumptions. If you don't already have an assumption that you manifest really easily, that manifestation comes so quickly and easily for you, if you don't have those kind of assumptions already, then the chances of it happening really quickly are a bit lower. So you just need to understand that and be patient with yourself and not immediately assume, well, I'm doing something wrong, I need to change things up, like I'm gonna look up what affirmations other people are doing. You don't need to do that, you just need to persist. Going on from that, just because it worked for somebody else and they had success, or you saw in a forum or a group or on YouTube people talking about success stories, like Sammy Ingram talks a lot about client success stories and people from her groups and everything. You don't need to immediately write down and start doing all of those. Just because it worked for someone else, that's what sounded natural to them. That's what they connected to. If you've been saying that SP is madly in love with me and that gives you the most, you know, positive visual, it implies exactly what you want, keep doing that. Don't switch up to SP is obsessed with me just because someone else used it. You have different assumptions about obsession, about the wording. You know, you have different goals, slightly different goals. You know, even though everyone essentially wants that loving, committed, perfect relationship that's fun and gives them everything they want, right? It makes them feel really good. The examples and specific details of what that looks like to them is different for everyone. So it doesn't mean you need to immediately take on other people's affirmations, especially if you're really connecting to ones you've already created. And this is something I even tell my own clients, that they can change the wording. I tell them, look, change up the wording. If you don't like the way I've said something, you don't have to do it verbatim. You know, don't robotically copy what I said. Use your own, you know, intuition and intellect to decide, yeah, I like this affirmation, but I want to change this wording. You know, I tell people, personalize it to yourself if the way I've worded it doesn't work for you. Next point is to just trust yourself, have more confidence, trust that you're doing it right, trust that you made the right decision, that there's a reason you chose, you know, these affirmations, or there's a reason you do more of a mental diet than affirmations throughout the day, that you think that's the best way to conform your mind. It's up to you. You can create whatever assumptions you want. You don't have to follow a strict regimen. And likewise, you also don't have to you know, copy other people's exact routine just because it worked for them. So yeah, focus on the knowledge you've gained throughout your journey so far. Why did you get into Law of Assumption? Why did you find this content and start engaging with it? You know, focus on the intuition and guidance that led you there, and trust yourself, because you know, follow your intuition basically. You'll know what's best for you. Like I said, the wording that I or other coaches suggest may not be the perfect wording for you. You know, if I tell you scripting is perfect, but you don't enjoy scripting, don't do it. Just keep affirming. Do whatever you've been doing and trust the knowledge that you've gained from me as a coach, other coaches, any manifestation text and teachings that you've picked up on and learnt from. Focus on that. So if, you know, you focused a lot on Neville Goddard and he talks a lot about getting into SATs and you've been doing SATs, keep doing it. If you enjoy it and you feel that it works for you, there's absolutely no harm in continuing with that. That can be your primary form of manifestation. As a coach, I personally don't recommend that, but like I said, if it's been working for you and you've been feeling a lot more balanced and in the kind of living in the end state from doing that, keep doing it. You know, who am I to say no, you can't do that? So just use your own intuition and guidance and trust yourself a little bit more, because just because someone else manifested their desired outcome doesn't mean you need to copy and paste their entire routine. Final point is regarding what to do when you should maybe change up your routine or start over or shift your focus in a slightly different direction. And that's if you really haven't been feeling good about your affirmations, or you feel like what you've been doing every day hasn't been helping you feel better or think in a more positive, better way and get you aligned with your desired outcome. And let's say it's been a couple of weeks or couple of months, then you can absolutely change the wording of your affirmations. You can say, well, I'm going to do 40 minutes of affirming instead of just 30, or I'm going to add in scripting because I've done that in the past and it worked for me. Do that, that no one can tell you exactly what to do for you to manifest in the most positive way. Some people connect with scripting and written word better. Some people like to just close their eyes and visualize. Whatever the case may be, you can add in those little extras because it's up to you. So yeah, just switch up your routine if you really feel after a while that it's not working, you're not connecting with it, the words don't sound super positive to you, they don't really imply your desired outcome, then you can absolutely switch it up. But don't do it from a state of desperation or thinking just because it worked for someone else. Because a lot of times that won't even work out for you in the best way possible. So yeah, hopefully this clarified this topic for you and why you should maybe trust in yourself a little bit more. So do thumbs up, subscribe, turn on the notification bell if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Bye.